Well, social media has become the talk of the marketing world, with some likening its impact on marketing to the scale of the impact that television had in the early 1900s. But how should marketers be adapting to this phenomenon? That's the question we're asking, and Walter Pike is the founder and thought leader at Pike Strategic. He joins us now for some of his thoughts on the subject. Thank you very much for your time and welcome.
Pleasure. Thank you for having me.
So, it's getting popular, but are marketers catching up?
I think that it's very new, and I don't believe that we are anywhere close to really understanding, and marketers in general haven't really got to grips with it.
Yeah, but what should they be doing? How should they be catching up with this?
Well, I think that social media is often seen as being in the space of Facebooks and MySpaces and that kind of area, whereas in fact it's a means of communication. It's really changed the whole way that people are connected and that people can talk to each other. Now we can speak across continents and across, interest groups very, very much more powerfully than we were able to in the past.
But we've got advertisers, we've got marketers who are saying, look, the traditional way has worked for us. Above the line, below the line advertising has always worked for us. How should they be adapting their businesses to try and tap into this market?
Well, I think that the traditional approach is what's probably called interruption marketing, which is where you find an audience and make sure that you get your message to that audience. In other words, just putting an ad in a space where the audience is looking. But because the audience is talking to each other at the moment, we need to be more involved in getting into the conversation so that we are understanding and listening to what people are saying, so that we can engage with them and maybe not influence in the way that we used to. We can't lecture and talk down to our market anymore, because our market has built the filters that stops us from talking down to them. We have to start listening and engaging in the conversation, and once we're engaged with them, then we are able to influence. Maybe not even influence as much as be there to be part of the conversation.
Yeah. But isn't it a bit intrusive, though? Because, like you say, people are just having their conversations on Facebook or MySpace or wherever, and there you are trying to get a message in there somehow.
I think that thinking is really the interruption marketing thinking. What we're really talking about is building a much stronger relationship with our customers, so that we have to be more honest, that we have to be more trustworthy, because if we get in there and we try and talk to people in this new space, people just don't have to listen. They can get the information from so many different sources that they don't have to listen. So and that, I think, is one of the fundamental changes, that we have to start thinking about: how do we engage, how do we get people to trust, how do we get people to innovate with us, how do we get people to be part of that process of delivering a customer experience. But
that's why we have the expert in studio. How do we do that?
Well, it is a process. It is a process of communicating. We've developed an approach called customer intimacy, which looks at engaging customers in conversations and empowering employees, because that's the other part of social networking. It's not just about being just putting words and putting out things out there. It's much more about empowering staff, about linking people, about getting people to be able to communicate the brand and things like that.
But I suppose the big question is, do they want to do that? Do people want you to come in and have these conversations with them, no matter how unintrusive they are?
Yes, people do. And we're finding that around the world, and even here we've got websites that lambaste certain companies, and people talk, and it's happening all the time. I think one of the things that we kind of think about often in South Africa is that maybe we're not in the same space as we might be in Europe or in the USA, but in fact we have got more than 7 million people on Mixit, and that's a social networking thing.
It is. And I wish we had more time to discuss how this is going to affect the face of advertising and marketing in South Africa particularly, but we're going to have to leave it there because we've run out of time. Thank you so much for coming through. Walter Pike is the founder and thought leader at Pike Strategic. On that note, we'll take a short break. When we come back, here with a report